Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, we'll be looking at the US market update. Then I'm recording this on 6th of October 2024, and we'll be looking at the major indices like S&P 500 index, S&P and NASDAQ 100 index, and we'll try to look at what the chart is trying to tell us. And before we get started with the charts, the standard disclaimer: this is only for informational educational purpose, and this is not financial advice. And you need to consult with your own financial advisor before you make any financial decisions. Yes, now let's get started with the US indices. Now, when we look at S&P 500 index, we can see that it is consolidating in the sideways trend for a few days to few weeks. The primary trend remains to be uptrend, but right now it's consolidating in the sideways trend. On Friday, we did have a good close because of the positive jobs data that came up on Friday, but still there is uncertainty and there's a lot of negative news around the Middle East crisis, the war that is going on there. Yeah, that is one thing that could impact the way the market moves, because the war in Middle East could affect the crude oil prices, which could lead to rising oil prices, which could lead to inflation. And market will try to factor in all these possibilities if there is further escalation there. So we need to wait and watch. But the charts are trying to tell us that the market is still having momentum left. And if we break out of these levels, like the near all-time highs that we reached, then we can expect further upside movement. But it all depends upon what are the other news that trickle into the market, like the Middle Eastern crisis that's happening there, and what happens to the crude oil price and all that. So we'll need to wait and watch. So this is S&P 500 on a daily time frame. So the Friday close was really good, as you can see from here. And if we view it on a weekly time frame as well, it's a pretty good week. We are trying to like take out the previous week's high, which is a very good sign. So the primary trend continues to be uptrend. There is a lot of momentum still in the market, and yeah, that is on the S&P 500 index. Now, when we look at the equal weight index as well on a daily time frame first, it's quite similar to the S&P 500 one. We did have a good like a slightly bullish day on Friday because of the jobs data, as I mentioned earlier, but it's still a little bit below the previous highs that we had made. And as you can see from here, it's also taking support near the 21-day moving average. So this is for the S&P 500 equal weight ETF. Now when we look at the NASDAQ 100 index, it's pretty much similar story as well, like the S&P 500 index. We had a good close on Friday, and we are trying to take out this high, the most recent high that we had made. And yeah, it really depends upon whether the index constituents continue to make scale new highs, especially Nvidia and all the tech related companies for NASDAQ. And for QQQ equal weight, also a similar story like the NASDAQ 100 index. We had a good close on Friday. Now, when we look at the mid cap has been moving in a sideways trend or in a consolidation phase for a few more months, while the overall market indices have been scaling new highs. The mid cap is still moving in a sideways trend, as we can see from here. Yeah, it did break out in July, but it has been moving in a range. And if we take out this high, that is around the 574 levels, then we can expect some momentum to come into the market. Then we can expect some kind of upside momentum to come into the mid cap sector. Let's look at the Russell 1000 index. We did have a good breakout a few weeks back, and then we did retest around the 21-day moving average, and then we bounced off, which is a very good sign, showing that the market still has strength. That is on the Russell 1000 ETF. Now on the Russell 2000, it's still moving in a sideways trend. As we can see from here, it's been quite volatile, unlike the Russell 1000. And if we take out this particular high, we can expect some kind of an upside momentum to come into the this particular index, 2000 index. Let's also look at the semiconductor ETF. It did have a good rally in the last couple of days, because primarily because Nvidia started moving and some of the other semiconductor stocks also started moving. So we are trying to make a higher low, like this high. This low is higher than this low, and this low is higher than this low. So we are trying to resume the uptrend that we were there earlier, and this momentum was largely because of Nvidia's move, which is a very big constituent of SMH. Around 20% of SMH is composed of Nvidia, 19 to 20%. That's the US market update. So we need to wait and watch around how the market opens up on Monday, because there have been a couple of developments in the Middle East war over the weekend. So we'll need to wait and watch how the market reacts to this news that is coming in from Middle East. But there is a mix of both positive and negative news in the market. There was a good jobs data on the Friday, and that's the reason why we had a good strong finish on Friday. But over Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, there have been some escalations in the Middle Eastern war. So we'll need to wait and watch how market opens up on Monday and Tuesday as well. Like, it will take a good couple of days to see how the bigger players react to this particular information, how they see inflation, how does it affect in crude oil price, how does it affect the energy price, and how does it affect the inflation in US as well. So it's a very crucial period for United States as well. Like, there are elections coming up, and inflation is a very big topic in the debates and all this. So they will try to keep the crisis, or like yeah. In the next video, uh, I'll be making a video where I'll go through the top 10 momentum stocks, both on a short-term basis as well as on a long-term basis. I'll link the video to this video as well. Do watch out for the video. I'll be going in depth around the top momentum stocks, and we'll try to look at these top momentum stocks on charts, and we'll try to find out any if there are any setups that we can take as well. Thank you for watching. Please do consider subscribing to this channel. Thank you. So when we look at this news, so we can see that the aerospace and defense ETFs have been doing well because of the Middle Eastern fears, because there could be a rise in oil prices as well as energy prices. And the defense sectors are also doing well because of this crisis that is going on there. And there was also the good jobs report that came up on Friday, hot jobs report, and that also led to a very strong finish on Friday. So when we look at the news related to S&P 500 index, we can see that the aerospace and defense ETFs have been doing well. This is primarily because of the Middle Eastern crisis and the war that is going on there. We also saw the energy related companies, oil related ExxonMobil, and all these also doing well, because there could be a potential impact on the oil prices, and the prices could go up, and that is one of the reasons why the energy related as well as the oil related companies have also been shooting up. And the same is the case with the defense companies as well. Lockheed Martin and other defense companies have also been doing well, and they are like entering into the top momentum stocks. There was also the good positive news around the jobs data on Friday, and that's the reason why we closed very with a strong note on Friday. However, the Middle Eastern fears is some kind of uncertainty in the market, so we'll need to wait and watch around how the market reacts to this particular one on Monday and Tuesday. Like, it will take a good couple of days to factor in this news that is coming, or the developments that have happened over Saturday and Sunday. and we'll have to wait and watch how market opens on Monday and how what happens in the first couple of days of the week before we take any kind of decisions. And